Hello, everybody. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is about your money mindset. We have to be joined by our money mindset coach, Miss Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. But we recognize that it is the holidays. I'm joined here by my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. And I'm Terralina from California Cover-Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So today we're here to help you get your money straight. And we're going to start the conversation this morning about decluttering your life because it's blocking some stuff. How you doing, Fran?
I am good. Terry and I are listening to a book by Terry Savelle Foy called Declutter Your Way to Success.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, very eye-opening. We can put the link in the chat to that if you all would like to listen along with us or read along with us. It is a eye-opening at the very least.
That's
why you may not be having the money you want might be in direct relationship to the clutter around you. So Terry, tell us some things that you've gotten out of the book so far.
Oh my gosh. Just listening to her talk about how she was in a situation where her life basically was going down the tubes. The marriage wasn't going right. The money wasn't right. She wasn't happy. She was going into depression, and she heard God say, finish the dishes. Finish something as simple as finish the dishes. And so she started with the dishes and then the kitchen. Because if your life is not in order, what did you say all the time, Francine? How you do one thing is how you will do everything. Because basically it is our organizational personality. Write that down.
I'm writing that down. Organizational personality.
Oh my gosh, that's the title. What is your organizational personality? My Lord. At any rate, once she started being faithful over a few things, he made her ruler over many.
Yeah.
She also said, you're not ready for promotion if you're not orderly, which makes sense. Have you ever had to report to a crazy supervisor? Every time you went in there, they didn't know where stuff was. They didn't know where your progress report was. They needed you to send another one. Or they didn't know what time the meeting was. It's like, really?
Don't be that person. Don't be that person.
You don't know what time the meeting is. Okay.
Don't be that person. Mm-hmm. That we are learning how to shift our thinking where our money is concerned. That's what we talk about on Wednesday. And we think that having that pile of stuff in the corner of the house is no big deal. She talked about being adjusted. You have adjusted to the junk. Mm-hmm. And just being cool with chaos.
Yes, your tolerance level for stupid just keeps going up. Okay. You know that's stupid. You know you don't need all those clothes on the bed.
No. And
I think a lot of times too, Francine, we don't realize that sometimes it is about the things we grew up with, the things we learned to tolerate as children.
Right.
Because she was saying that her mother would just take the clothes out of the dryer and put them on the bed and let them be because they were clean, they were dry.
Y'all all know this. You leave them in. You take them out of the dryer, put them in the hamper, and you dress out of the hamper.
Ooh, my gosh!
Because you're pulling the clothes are clean. You just you put them back in and they're clean. Well, they're clean.
They're not. You're not done. Basically, is what we're saying.
You haven't finished the process.
Exactly. And then the question is, at that point, where is the process? Because the process is not respected, therefore no process is respected.
The first thing that I heard her say is make the bed.
Yep, she talked about how in service what happens. Right?
In the military, they teach you how to make a bed with them hospital corners for a reason. It's not just because they want to see the beds neat and tidy. It is a establishment of order. Because now you've established excellence in order, and then that will carry out through all of what you do. So you're making the bed in order. Your uniform is in order, your haircut's in order, your shoes are signed, you're polished, because both of our dads were in military.
Yeah.
So all of these things, you had to be ready for inspection. You had to be ready to go. You don't want the people coming to help you not knowing how to put their gun together.
Absolutely.
Or you ducking bullets because they don't know how to shoot because they haven't been to practice because they haven't had order. They didn't finish boot camp.
And not only that, Francie, they teach them how to assemble and disassemble that gun to the point where they can do it blindfolded. Why is that? Because when you're in battle, you don't know if they're going to throw dust, dirt, bombs, whatever's coming down, and you need to be able to get it back together to defend yourself at all costs.
But if you can't defend yourself if you don't know where the pieces of the gun is.
Okay.
Or are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The bullets are, or it's just
you don't know where your tools are.
It's such common sense.
Because you don't know where things are, and now you're buying things twice or three times. Like the batteries, AA, AAA, 9-volt, whatever they are, not having them in order or knowing where they are. Now you're going and you're trying to find the batteries again that you bought.
Exactly.
I know I bought batteries. Where are they?
And
in the junk drawer in the.
Now the holiday season is coming. How many rolls of tape will you have bought?
Because you didn't have a place for the other roll. Because they're in the closet somewhere, or in a drawer. The famous junk drawer.
Amen. And I have one. I have one in my kitchen. I inherited the junk drawer thing.
No, Pat, we are not talking about guns today. We are just talking about decluttering for success. It's a book that I'm going to put the link in the chat for the Audible book. I prefer Audible to listen to it rather than sit down and read it, because maybe if I put it down in my library here, I got lots of books.
I hear you. Which is another clutter issue for me.
Right. And the books are, and it's okay if, she was talking about if it's in order for you or somebody. Yes, there was somebody she mentioned in the book that said if you can find it, then maybe you're okay. But we're talking about not finding it. And then we might be talking about not finding our money too.
Mm-hmm.
Because.
That's good. That's a good point.
Because we can't see it.
Because it's so electronic.
Huh?
It's so electronic, Francine. It's sort of like ether. You know what I mean? What else do we do that's electronic? Oh, we're on the internet. We don't pay that any attention. We expect it to work. We expect our money to be there. Do we go in to see, is the internet on today? No, we assume it's there.
Yes. And we assumed that yesterday.
Yeah.
that Facebook was going to be working when we showed up.
And see, if we'd had a process that went in 20 minutes ahead of time, we could have probably planned better. But because because of our process, and so when you find things that aren't working for you, you need to maybe tweak processes.
Yeah, and so, wait,
it's not working for you.
So we want the airline people to have a checklist before we get on the plane.
Oh yeah.
But do we have a checklist for our own personal life and success? Or do we just...
Well, here's the deal. We got a checklist. Did we check the checklist?
But wait, can you find the checklist?
I'm just saying.
Well, and this is brought... We need to talk about this before we get into 2019.
Absolutely.
Before we roll over into 2019 with stuff everywhere, can't find it. And maybe that's why we are not clear on our purpose. Maybe that's why we're not clear on our assignment. We're not clear. The clarity coaches may have an easier time if you tell people to clean up their house.
Because then they can think.
Right.
How about that? You can't think when your mind is cluttered.
And we've heard it, but we don't want to believe that. We really don't. Well, that doesn't apply to me. I know where all my stuff is.
Time, Francine. We're so busy being on our assignment that we don't want to take the time to organize our life, which would help us complete our assignment better. She was saying that when you are trying to do something and there's stuff screaming at you over here,
the dishes are screaming.
Yeah.
The laundry is screaming. What about me? What about me? Mm-hmm. And people who work who work from home, this is a significant challenge because you get to see all of this stuff around you as you're walking by.
Mm-hmm. And even those who work outside the home, we can be late for appointments because we start piddling. Mm. So you need to have order and figure out what that order is going to be. And maybe assign time to declutter.
Right.
Maybe for 30 minutes you're going to declutter something.
Now what she did say was don't try and tackle it all at one time. Take one room. Like the kitchen. We're going to wash the dishes. And then she said finish something. So when you wash the dishes, you put them in the drain. Or if you're putting them in the dishwasher, when the cycle is finished, you unload the dishwasher and put them away instead of pulling the dishes out of the dishwasher to eat from the dishes just because they were in the dishwasher clean. Take them out.
Yeah.
Put them away. You're not finished if they're in the drain, if they're still in the rack.
I've been guilty of this lately.
Me too.
Suddenly it's not that important. I can just grab it out of there. I'm like, okay, but mentally, because I am a person of procedure,
mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me that I should complete the task by putting them away. Because then I go to the cupboard for a cup versus the dishwasher, which is not where it's supposed to live. It lives in the cupboard.
Right.
It's like walking a dog to the garage and just letting him off the leash. He lives in the backyard of the house. Come on.
So finishing and that's where the procrastination comes in, and the not finishing of tasks may be stemming from what's going on in our homes. It couldn't, the pushing off. Okay, I'll get to that later. While the science project grows in the sink because you keep putting off the cleaning of the sink or waiting for someone else to do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If we think that every time we clean a dish or pick up something, it will help us get to a better place instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. And maybe we need to set the example for those in our households.
There you go. There you go. And we do set an example whether we recognize it or not.
Yeah, like whether these dishes are going to get done. I'm looking for my water. Okay. Whether the dishes are going to get done or not get done. That means our time sequence is out. Maybe we spent too much time sleep, or we rolled over one more time. Something happened where we didn't, or either, like you said, we're piddling on something else that doesn't need to be done right now. That wasn't on the schedule to be done right then. I used to have a schedule. Thursdays was a certain thing got done in the house. Tuesday was another day that certain things got done in the house. Bathrooms, living room, because my house is not huge, which is cool. So on Tuesday, we're doing bathrooms and laundry, I think it was. And then Thursday was something else, floors and something. But
because life has to be maintained.
Correct. And then here's the other thing, walking into the closet when you take off your coat, hang it on the coat rack, not on the back of the chair. Hang it in the closet. I had on a turtleneck, and I have a valet on my in my room. A valet is like a thing where you put your clothes on it, you can put your shoes and stuff on it, put your keys or whatever on it, so that you can prepare your clothes for the next day. Your outfit that you're going to wear is on the valet, kind of like laying your clothes out. Well, I've been using it as a coat rack, clothing rack or something. Take it off. It's not on the bed. It's not on the floor. Not on a chair. It's just hanging over the valet. Well, that's not good enough. So I have to take it, and when you get ready to hang a turtleneck sweater, you can't just stretch the neck. You got to put the hanger underneath. Take a little time to hang it right and put it back in the closet. Instead of letting it lay on the valet or on a chair somewhere where now that it's wrinkled up, you got to iron it, or you got to do something else to it, right? Which costs you more time. If you just hung it up in the first place.
Well, my valet has been my chair. I have a chair in my bedroom, and suddenly everything just seems to appear over there.
On the chair. And the chair is growing like this, like a person is sitting in it. You're like, oh, what is that?
Exactly. So I think that as we go into 2019, we need to figure out where is the clutter in our lives, and start with little spaces. Don't try to do the whole room. Pick an area of the room and be complete with that area before you move to another area. Does that make sense?
It really does. And we have Jill Western watching. Hi, Jill. How are you? Jill can probably speak to this and help us get our breathing space correct. And Jill, we've been talking about decluttering for success. And we're reading a book. The link is in the chat. And please weigh in. And if you are camera ready, you can also take a seat. We can send you a link if you are camera ready. But we are talking about decluttering, which is going to help us declutter our mind. We'll be more at peace. You can put on all the aromatherapy that you want. But if you got stuff piled to the rafters, and it may not even be the rafters. You're moving stuff around because you didn't get a chance to finish something. A lot of unfinished projects, unfinished projects just hanging around the house.
And I'm going to get to that. Or I think a lot of times, here's the thing, when Coach Karen was on, she talked about sneaky fears.
Yeah.
Fears that we won't be able to replace that.
Yeah.
We're going to need it someday.
Here's a fear that I don't think we recognize, and Pat says it's really bad when you use your exercise machine as your clothing rack. So we're not exercising because, we can't exercise because it's full of clothes And so, okay, well, therefore I can't exercise. It is a bad thing when that happens.
Don't say that, because my clothing rack is now holding all my luggage. I have a Pilates machine. And you know what? Once I declutter, I can find a place where I can actually use that machine. Where there's enough room to actually use it. And I'm like, there are so many advantages to this project.
Just space to walk through your house. It's just like in graphics. You don't have to fill every spot of white space on your graphics with something. Leave a little white space, leave a little space in the graphics. The same thing with your room. You don't have to have it filled to the hilt with stuff. Grandma used to, and I think it's because of the era that they came from, there was stuff, china closet, and this, just stuff.
Yeah, I think it's because things weren't as readily manufactured, and when they were still expensive.
Yep.
I can remember my grandmother used to save green stamps, and we would go, and she was collecting these glasses that you can now get at Ross for like $4.
Or people like my husband was collecting mugs. Just collecting mugs, and pretty soon there's no place in the kitchen for all these mugs. I'm like, don't bring any more mugs. Don't nobody give him any more mugs. No more mugs. I have no place to put them, and I'm not going to display them on a shelf. I'm just not doing that. No more mugs. For what reason?
Girl, and I can't begin to tell you. You know how when you go to festivals and they give away little stuff? I have that little stuff because I would pick it up. Oh, the grandkids would love to play with this. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going down through closets. Stuff from 2014.
What, lanyards and pins and stuff. And then what happens when you get ready to throw it away? See, now there's another whole thing that happens in your brain. You're trying to throw it away, right? And now there's sentimental values to some stuff. Some stuff is just junk.
Well, I think I should really consider detaching myself from the photos from contestant number 1, 2, or 3.
Wow.
The wedding pictures, for the first marriage. Maybe we don't want the kids stumbling across that.
And then too, I would ask, why do you think that you kept them? But that's another thought process.
I think it's because I know my parents paid good money to have the photographer.
Oh, see, the photographer don't even want the pictures anymore.
And my parents are gone. It's not like I'm going to sit down and celebrate that event with somebody. It's okay.
It will be okay. I think we really don't. I'm saying we should take the time. Let's do that. Take the time to consider the things that we have around us, and whether it's making us better, or should we let it go?
Is it adding or detracting from my life, subtracting from my life? Francine, I think I'm going to have to call my friend. I have a friend, Eileen, and she actually helps people organize and declutter. And I think I need help. I mean,
You need an intervention?
I need an intervention. I need like on those TV shows. Like, no, it's gotta go.
And you may not be to the point where you need an intervention. For those who are watching live and on the replay, you just may need to take a day, put 4 piles. You'll hear all of this in the book. It's just a really good listen. I'm serious. It's a really good listen. But you'll put 4 piles out, 1 for keep, 1 for giveaway, one for trash, and there was another pile.
I think it was 3.
I thought it was 4, but whatever. You need to figure out what, go through it, and if it's something near and dear to you, and it's a memorable event, and keep it. But if it was just like you said, a trinket from something, and it really, you can remember the event without having the trinket.
Exactly, and the significant people at that event probably don't want to remember it.
So I encourage anybody listening, go listen to the book. It's a short listen, but I really believe it'll position us better for 2019.
There you go.
And you may find money that you've been lacking.
That's true. You may find those old insurance papers, so you may find that you have another retirement coming from a job you had when you were 18 and you paid into something. There might be some money waiting over there for you, and you never even went back to inquire because you didn't see this. You didn't open this mail from 2012 that said, if you're a part of this group, you may need to call us.
All of that to say is that having clutter does not serve you at all. And living a clutter-free life allows you to breathe a little better. Allows you to think more clearly. Yeah, you might be able to find some stuff. Well, I know it's in one of these stacks over here, if that's your thing. But really, there's always a better way. So why not let us go into the better way of doing something and not just be handcuffed by the clutter, handcuffed by things around us. I'm guilty of how I'm going to ask this question. How many windows are open on your computer at one time? Because you think I have to go back to that window, so I'm going to leave it open. No, finish out whatever you're working on that particular project. Shut that window. Because it hogs up your resources on the computer. And you want to know why your computer is running slow? Well, you got 15 windows open. Because you can't, if I leave this open, I'll come back to it. Maybe I'm talking about me. So,
because I don't keep my windows open, but then I don't do major projects.
Because you can't. If I leave this open, I'll come back to it. I'm talking about me. So, my windows open, and I don't do major projects. You got Facebook open?
Yeah, I see that now.
So, I'm learning how to shut down windows and complete a task all the way through before I begin the next one. Sometimes we begin confusing ourselves. We start out on one project and then you see something over here. Oh, I'll finish that off real quick and then come back.
Hold on, I'm trying to slide my phone off. Go ahead. You'll come back.
You're heading down the road. And then you're like, oh, I remember I need to get bread. And then you do a rabbit trail or a detour. You're going somewhere else and you never finish the path that you were heading on. And now you're off on another one and it doesn't get done.
Something now, I'm like you when it comes to a project, though. I can say to Francine, well, what about this? She said, no, I got to stay right here. When I am sewing, Francine, I have to complete that project. I can't.
Right.
It's very rare that I will come back. So what I'll do is, if I plan to come back, I will come back the next day. Because otherwise, it's just...
I don't want to try and remember the idea that I had for something. The next day, it might be gone. So let me finish this out. Let me finish a conversation. When I have conversations with people, I like working with clients and getting them through to a stopping point, because I don't want to try and remember what you were talking about. And we do record our conversations and that type of thing, and I take really good notes, but the ideas are flowing. Let's finish this. Let's get you to finish. And I like finishing projects. But I have to do something about the clutter around here. A lot of us have clutter from paper from 1998 or something. Paper just sitting here. Take it, pack it up, put together a day to pack all that stuff up, put it in a box, and take it to the shredder. And make that the one thing on your list for the day, but get it out. Mm-hmm. Jill Weston says practices that work for her: 1, get myself focused, energetic, and motivated before I tackle a project.
Right.
2, box up a few things, and if I don't miss them in a week or a month, then throw them away. 3, and yes, an intervention or an accountability partner. 4, yes, do small piles. Thank you, Jill.
She could have wrote this book.
Yeah, Jill will help you out. She runs a company. She has a breathing room. I hope I'm saying that right, Jill. But helping us to breathe. And sometimes you can't catch your breath if you got stuff everywhere.
And you don't even realize it. And the other thing that happens too, Francine, is you begin to run away from home or run away from that particular room, or, because I have an office. So because I go in and out with my product, a lot of times I don't feel like putting everything where it belongs. And what happens is the office becomes a storage bin. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to go in there and just literally spend the day putting things in their home.
And whereas if I put things in their home as I'm finished with them, I would not have to spend the whole day doing that. So, learning to put things, what is it? Everything has a place, and then everything in its place. And when you take it out of its place, after you wash the dish and dry the dish, put it back in its place.
And I think that as we get larger and larger homes, we tend to just spread out. I realized that when I took in a border, that I really didn't need that room that I thought I needed. I was just using it because I had the extra space and there was no one in the condo but me, so I just sort of spread out. You know what I mean? It's like, oh. I was happy, but I was also just creating my own storage bin, if you will. You know how people buy storage?
And that's another thing she mentioned in the book. Storage is a $1 billion business for people's clutter that they think they're going to use one day.
So what is that, bigger barns?
Mm-hmm. You're just storing up stuff. Somebody could be using it, like clothing that you're not wearing. I have a coat right now that I kind of like and kind of really don't like it. I'm hanging all that stuff up and sending it to people. Find somebody that can use it because it's a really nice jacket or whatever. But
think about those fire victims. I mean, there are people who have lost everything. All that little stuff you think you're going to find a use for someday. Maybe this is the day to pack it up and send it to somebody.
Yeah. Figure out how you can get it up to Paradise or to Malibu or wherever and get it to somebody who can use it, especially if you can't.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of disasters around the country. There have been floods before the rains came. On the East Coast, they had floods. I mean, there are people with needs. And I think because, the headlines change so quickly, we forget about this. But there are people in tents on Thanksgiving Day. They will be in a tent after living in a 2-level brand new home that they built from the ground. They are now reduced to a tent. People, we don't need all this stuff. There's a need going on right now. And hey, as an act of thankfulness, when we declutter, we need to consider packing that stuff up and getting it to a church that's donating stuff up there or whatever you have to do.
Okay, well, it looks like we got bounced from Facebook, so I'm going to go back in on a take two. I put a note in the chat.
Okay.
It is just a little weird. I don't know what happened, but Facebook is being weird anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is take two. I was like, what happened? But you can keep talking because we still have audience over on.
Okay, well, I wanted to say that, when you declutter, consider packing some of that stuff up and taking it to the churches or the different organizations, the Red Cross, who are taking stuff to these different areas of the country where people have basically lost everything. And I think as we as we declutter, we should have a spirit of gratefulness, thankfulness, if you will, since it is Thanksgiving, thankfulness that, we just been blessed.
And we have something to give someone else. And by you giving those things, it helps you and it helps them. It helps you get freer in your mind, that you can think more clearly about your business. And it helps them because it helps in helping them rebuild their lives.
So let me ask you this, Francine. What has all of this got to do with money? Because, on Wednesday, we talk about money.
It has everything to do with money. Because the blockages that we have, we can't see the money. We can't see clearly as to where our money's coming from. We are talking about maybe the thing that you've been focusing in on because you were so cluttered with thinking that that's not really the thing that you've been called to do and doesn't make you smile, and you would be rather doing this, and now you have clarity because you cleared the clutter. There's a lot of coaches that talk about clarity, but I don't think I've ever heard any of them talking about clear the clutter for clarity.
Or even the clutter in your mind.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it happens in you before it happens. Whatever is happening inside of you is reflected outside of you. So that means whatever you are seeing around you is happening all up in here.
Not only that, it projects your organizational personality. Remember she was talking about the guy who wanted to rent?
Oh, that was a good story. The lady wanted to rent her home to someone. And she asked everybody about their car. So tell me, what kind of car do you have? Make and model of the car and that type of thing. And people were, she asked the guy, what kind of car do you drive? And just kept asking him about his car. And he was like, why is she asking me about his car? What was the reason, Terry?
And about maintenance and different things. And she said, well, I've interviewed a lot of people, but you're the only person who made the cut. And he said, so he was curious. He said, so how did I make the cut? She said, well, it's been my experience that people who maintain their cars, keep them clean, and use certain kinds of fuel
And you keep the maintenance up on the car.
Yes. Are more responsible renters. They take care of my property. And as a result, this has been my criteria for selecting tenants. In other words, if I see you taking care of what you have already, you're probably going to take care of what I give you stewardship over.
Or you're going to take care of my rental property. Exactly. She looked at his car, asked him about how the maintenance was on the car. How's the car running? How, and that's how he got the rental unit, because he was good with his car. He was disciplined and clutter-free with his car, so she knew her closets was going to be okay. She knew her house was going to be okay.
And then his mind was organized.
Oh, like he was going to get the rent paid?
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it has everything to do with your money.
And he was not going to be hoarding stuff in our house. I've rented property where I have had to go in and basically almost bulldoze the place because people had accumulated crap up in there.
So this might be for those of you who do property management or you have homes to rent. I think this is a good criteria for you, and it's going to keep your money in your pocket a little longer. Mm-hmm. Ask the people, how do they keep their car? Because how a person keeps their car is probably an indicator of how they're going to keep their home.
And when they drive up, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because so obviously these people had been coming by because she, because she was saying that she had seen their cars.
And then she mentioned that there was one person that was thinking about hiring people, and before they hired them for leadership positions, they would drop by the person's house unannounced and just knock on the door and just, unannounced to see what was going on. Because how they did one thing is how they do everything.
I know when I organized my living room and when I organized my office, I just felt so different, Francine. I think my performance was different. I think my attitude was different. I was so relaxed when I walked through there in the mornings. I was just like, oh my God. Thank you.
You have clear path you have a blank slate to create when it's clutter free.
Yes.
So that is how I'm going to reread this book or do a new listen, replay the book. And work on it. I've been there before, and I like being in that place where it's clear and clutter-free. And then I vow not to allow things to creep in to distract me from being free, clutter-free. I like finding stuff. Like I know where my keys are. They're hanging in the same place. We talked about that with our clients. When you have your bag with your laptop or your phone or whatever, everything needs to have a place in that bag so that when you pick up your bag, you have everything that you should have. So phone, keys, outside pocket. So you're not digging for them. Your makeup bag should be able to fit in your bag. You organize your bag just like you organize your car. And
your bag is a reflection of your organizational personality, right?
Yep. That's a book right there. Organizational personality.
Exactly. Because what happens is because customers come to me all the time and say, oh, let me pay my bill or whatever. If I don't know where my swiper is, if I don't know where my phone is, I can't take their payment right there. And a lot of times what people buy are emotional purchases. Mm-hmm. They have the money right then and they want to take care of it.
So be ready to process a payment right there and make it easy for them to pay you. And meaning that they're going to have to have you. I keep my swipe on hand. Swipe and phone or the chip, whatever. A payment processor is always in the gear bag.
And I think that too, once you have organized your bag, you recognize you don't need everything.
True. I have seen people who literally look like people who are homeless, where they have a scarcity mentality or a fear of loss. The people who are homeless have a fear of loss, and so they have everything they own in a cart, in a basket. And you know, some people judge and say, how could you live like that? Well, this is, they believe that they have to have everything they own on them, because technically they don't have a place to store it at home. So they have it with them in their baskets or shopping carts or strollers or whatever they happen to be using. People who have a home, you don't need to carry everything in your bag when you leave the house. You don't need the kitchen sink. You don't need the wrench. Do you understand? We become the mind becomes disjointed and not thinking clearly.
Because now you got a what if.
Yes, you're expecting things to go wrong.
Yeah, you haven't thought through the process. Well, what if this? What if that? Well, I don't know how I'm trying to think about it. I'll just put it all in here. You see what I mean?
And then people, you lose credibility when you go into that bag and people need something and you're fishing through. Wait, hold on a minute. Wait. It's not a good look. It doesn't look. I have no confidence that you're going to be able to take care of me.
And rather than have that look, Francine, I have actually done manual processing, because I did not want to give the impression that I was not organized or whatever if I couldn't find it right away. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because, it, like you said, it's not a cute look.
It's not. We apologize for the technical difficulties with Facebook. Hey, Lakeisha. Facebook was having issues yesterday, and I don't know what happened today, but we had a couple of little... I just got a notification. Something came up and said, this live video is done. I'm like, I did not push a button. And so I did a take two.
Are they trying to tell us something? We get 45 minutes. Are they doing something different?
No, I just think, it's the internet, and possibly people are home today preparing for Thanksgiving, and there may be an uptick in the amount of people online.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Hi, Pat. Pat says she got a scooter. Okay.
So, take this weekend and think about how clutter is affecting you if you are dealing with it. And if you don't, and you're not filled with clutter, help a friend get out of the clutter. Jill, this would be an excellent post for you to put out. Like a blog, like Breathing Space, Breathing Space News Today or something. Just something once a week to help us manage better. Because if we are clutter free, we have more creativity on how to bring in more revenue. Mm-hmm. We can think it through.
There you go.
And it just ended again.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm over here. I see. Yes.
I know. That's just because we're still on a delay. So it appears that we have been bumped again.
Oh, yeah, this live video is ended.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, we have 3 minutes. Should we come in and say goodbye?
I was just going to do it in the chat.
Okay. We were going to let them know we're not going to be on tomorrow.
Yeah, I already set that up. It's in the thing. See, I was proactive this time. We will see you again on Friday. Fur Day. Wow. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We appreciate you all. Yeah, I know I spelled your right. Come on. Are you still there, Terry?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. All right. Let me know if you see that in the chat. Like, whatever.
Okay. Biz Chicks also commented. It appears we have been bumped again. Thanks for watching and sharing. We will see you again on Friday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We appreciate you all. Is that what you wrote?
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Because I'm like, what? And Jill commented on a live video. I was like, what the? It just kept, I don't know why Facebook is bumping us. Again, they might be working on some stuff because it just went. And it wasn't the signal here at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Jill said, thanks for the blog idea. I'll post tips on Breathing Space Facebook page. Yes.
Cool.
Woo!
I think we should start writing a book on personalities and start telling little vignettes about our customers.
Oh, you mean the Hustle Chronicles, Biz Chicks Chronicles?
I love it. that could be a book.
Because it's just little stories.
Think about how Christy has been transformed.
Right. And I wanted to talk about you, talk to you about, I'm on my website. I would like to do another Mind Shift small group training session.
And what does that consist of, Francis?
That is a mastermind.
Okay.
Because mastermind is just so...
I think it's powerful when people get together because so many ideas come.
No, I understand that. But I would like to call it a small group training session. And it's all about, the Lord clarified what I do to help people, which is to help them retrain their thinking for significant success. That's what we do at that mastermind. Because that's what we did yesterday for Laverne.
And for Loretta.
And we are still live on YouTube.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody.